Hello and welcome to Paint Yoga. I am your host, Alison Rawlins, Master of Strategic Communication, yoga teacher, and transformational life coach. I designed Paint Yoga to help you visualize the rejected shadow part so that you can integrate the benefits of your so-called weaknesses into a more complete and functional whole being. The activities I will use to help you get started come from a variety of sources and have been modified by my own use and use with clients. I believe this is the most efficient and effective means of achieving your own self-acceptance and content state of being. So now let's get started. Through Paint Yoga activities, I aim to facilitate your individual connection to your core self, to assist you in visualizing and achieving your heart's goals, and express your shadow in a safe place so that you can visualize these rejected bits and you can acknowledge them and integrate parts that you've rejected over the years and put down as things that you don't like about yourself, something about your body or something about the activities that you do on a daily basis. And these things, you know, they stick with us, and you might think it's a small thing, but each little tiny change can help us to release and grow. So moving on, I do prefer to do this work in smaller groups, individually with clients, so that we can work through specific issues and people can help each other through issues that have different experiences within the group. So I hope that I can renew and recreate that with Facebook groups, with my new meetup group, and I'm really looking forward to entertaining and engaging with you beautiful people. Each episode of this 7 chakra series will have a couple of activities geared to releasing some of the common blocks on those particular chakra levels. And because I'm putting this out to general audiences, I'm being very general, and so there may be some things that apply to you 100% and other things that you just reject. Use these exercises kind of as a dashboard to come back, do it again, make several passes. The activities that I chose for the root chakra are intended to help you center in your sources, who you are, and how the attributes and social positions that are beyond your control, combined with your own unique individual choices, have brought you here. So consider this the first rung of a ladder to integration. It's time to acknowledge and affirm the level of survival, and at this moment, be here and grounded. If you notice any fears come up, release them, and this will help you progress and clear for the energy to move up to the next level. These activities are meant to connect the root chakra, and this will help you acknowledge your roots as we identify the fears that are blocking your personal growth. Again, I'm not able to work with you individually through this video, but I certainly hope that you'll visit my website and that you'll visit these other groups that I will link to in the description. The first activity that I would like us to go through together is a core self-drawing. Before we get started, part of the core work of root chakra is understanding where you come from, and I thought that was very similar to a gaming type of character sheet. I looked up how that's kind of done, and I had some ideas of my own little character sheet that I printed out, which just has your name, your stats, information that you don't have any control over, like your race, your age. You do have some choice over your education, though some of that is systemically structured, and then, you know, other choices and life events that you might have, such as marriage or children. I've arranged some writing prompts to just gauge where you are right now in this moment today at each of these levels. For your root chakra, you can note down information about your sources, what kind of structure motivates you, what kind of paradigm that you have. It's very open-ended about what you're going to put here. It doesn't matter. You can write as little or as much that comes to you for each one of these things, and don't worry about spending too much time. The next rung, I invite you to write a few words in this section. Make some marks that come to you in this moment under the sacral chakra. How does your inner critic affect you? And what kinds of conduct issues, if you do have any shame or guilt, habits that you're trying to build and habits that you may be trying to lose. Which brings us into the next level of the solar plexus that has to do with your willpower and the energy of burning away some of the shame and guilt. What kinds of actions, what you have pride and shame over. Again, not spending too much time overthinking any of these, making some notes, numbers, evaluations in the very small spaces provided. Heart chakra level, evaluating your level of compassion and manifestation, your connection with family, community. How is your relationship with acceptance? Are you fully accepting how it is in this moment to be now? Evaluate based on the few words, the colors, the feelings that are coming up for you in this moment. Going on to the throat chakra, evaluating the meaning and symbolism for yourself, your social connections, and write some notes, whatever comes up for you in regards to your throat chakra, your alignment with your intention. So that moves into the third eye. The higher chakras are considered more spiritual, and the lower chakras are considered more earthly. Opening of this energy channel helps you to trust your own instincts and see beyond, like outside of the box. Let's write some notes and evaluation, a number of sorts, if you will, in this area, and then move on to your crown chakra and where you feel you are in terms of knowing and working towards your purpose, and evaluating maybe what relationship you have with your meditation practice and your connection to more esoteric universal energies. At this moment, what is your superpower? What is it about you right now that makes you better at something? Doesn't have to be anything super, but a superpower like, you've got mom hands. I have mom hands. So, on the other side of that coin, if I have mom hands, sometimes I do have a tendency to injure myself, even though, something hurts a little bit, and I just keep going if I have to finish the thing. And that doesn't really help my productivity tomorrow if I go too far today. And then, just a little box, it's very small, to write your aspirations. What is it that you want more than anything? If you didn't have to worry about any responsibilities, what would you prefer? What's your aspiration that you would just do, even not getting paid? Write these things up and take a look at it. Whatever numbers that you put, whatever words, just take it in. Take a moment. Take a breath. So now, who am I? I've taken this exercise from my work with Alternatives to Violence Project, and I facilitated this exercise in Elmira. The first time I facilitated it, I read straight out of the book. And of course, as we write things down, we try to edit out and we try to get the fewest words so we fit things on the page. And just for whatever reason, there wasn't really a good warning to me as the facilitator. I think, in my own opinion, there was not a sufficient warning about the particular risk of this activity for people to become incredibly attached. So that you're forewarned, the overview is we're going to write in each of these segments something about ourselves. I'm a mother, I'm an educator, all 10 attributes, and you can look at your character sheet, you can think about your relationships, your anything are you a singer, are you a musician, are you an artist, are you creative, are you a writer, all of the things but I need to warn you, at the end what we're going to do is we're going to do a meditation where you release and throw away each of these attributes. Now, I have printed mine on the back side of my character sheet, and when I personally go through this exercise myself, I intend to tear up both together, and that kind of activity can be very cathartic. I want you to take the page and fold it in half, and then fold it on each of the other lines so that you can tear each segment apart. And you know the drill, you fold paper back and forth and then you can tear it along the line. So each of the 10 attributes are then torn and in a pile. You're going to organize them so that the attribute that you feel is the most important core thing that you could never let go of is on the very bottom. And then place each of the next attributes that you've chosen, but the one that's the very most important, and in this moment to you right now, it's on the bottom, and in gradated order, the one that you are least in tune with, could get rid of the most easiest, is on top. Now that you have your pieces of paper in front of you and they're in the order, I want you to bring yourself into a state of alignment with these pieces. Put yourself in line with the character that you've developed on this page right here. And think about who that person is. Now I want you to take the attribute that you've considered the least important in this moment. I want you to read that word out loud to yourself. Look at it. I want you to hold in your mind right now all of the things that particular part of yourself has given you, and give gratitude. And then I want you to take that and scrunch it up and throw it away and let go. And then imagine who you would be if that just one attribute was no longer a part of you. And take a breath. So now, I want you to take that second most important thing, the second least important thing, and take a look at it. Hold that attribute of yourself. Imagine all the things, all the benefits that attribute brings you, all the activities, all of the emotions. And then take a breath and crumble it up and let it go. And then take this moment to imagine what it would be like if that were no longer a part of you. Take another deep breath. And take a look at that third item in your pile. Look it over, read it, see how that attribute is part of your life, all of the benefits, all of the responsibilities and activities, and then take a breath, crumble it up, and let it go. so that you can imagine what it would be like if that aspect wasn't a part of you. And then go on to the fourth in your pile. Take a breath and look it over. Imagine all of the activities and responsibilities, all the benefits of that part of your being. And then breathe in and out and let that go. Crumble it up, throw it out, and imagine what it's like without that attribute. Take a breath, move on. Taking the fifth thing on your pile. Now this is going to be your middle of the road, and you've already let go of 4 attributes. Imagine this particular attribute, all of the responsibilities and benefits, and take a moment to appreciate this part of your being. And taking a breath, letting it go, crumbling it up, throwing it away, and imagining what it would be like if that attribute you've written were no longer a part of you. And we can take a pause here. We have let go of 5 of 10 of these attributes. All 10 attributes are important to you because you've written them down. You've let go of 5 attributes. Imagine yourself without these particular benefits, but also the responsibilities of these attributes in your life. Let them go. I want you to appreciate the work you're doing and continue with these 5 next very important attributes. You ranked these your top 5 attributes. So moving on, that 6th piece of paper, that 6th word, that part of you, imagine all the things that you've benefited, all the activities that you've done, all the responsibilities of this attribute. I want you to hold that space and appreciate it. Take a breath, crumble it up, let it go, and next, imagine what it's like without that. Pick up the pace. I know these are really important bits. I'm just going to pick up the pace a little bit. Pick that 7th attribute. Pick it up. Hold it. Appreciate it. See the benefits. Crumble it. Let it go. Imagine what it's like without that. So you're not 8th. Take a look at it. Imagine, remember, appreciate, crumple, let it go. Take your 9th. This is penultimately most important. Hold that. Think about all the benefits, responsibilities, what it would be to let it go. Now, your most important core attribute that you chose, let's give this a moment. Really hold that. And really feel what that is, that core attribute you chose. Now, all the benefits, responsibilities, and activities of that before you. Fold that up, put it away. Now, that you've let go of all these 10 attributes, I want you to take this moment to feel what's at the core beyond the attributes that may have been prescribed to you by birth, the color of your skin, who your parents were, where you were born, all of those things. all of the choices you made, the college you went to, the jobs that you've done and the work that you may have achieved, your family and so forth. All of these things put together are now no longer a part of you, and what's left is unchanging core self. And I want you to be able to access that for the next activity. This I'm picturing with this camera is the core self drawing that I did in June, and this is just an example, and mine today is going to be very different because instead of just using, these are oil pastels, I'm going to be using watercolor paints. And this paper has a onion skin paper, the tweed, and it's heavy duty paper that I feel confident will be fine for my use of watercolors today. This is core self-drawing. This work was also connected with my work with Alternatives to Violence Project. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one for paint yoga purposes, you can certainly visit my website, teachingithacawellness.com. So let's get started, shall we? This is the core self-drawing, and how I would like you to start is by centering yourself back to where we were just a few minutes ago. You're not a parent, you're not a teacher, you're not a worker, you're not a subordinate, you're not a boss, you're just you. I want you to relax in the contentment of safety, warmth, freedom from constraint in the immediate jurisdiction. First thing I want you to do is, take and try making some marks with your non-dominant hand. Now, I'm right-handed. I'm going to make some marks with my left hand. And you don't need to be representational. You don't really have to hold any kind of idea or shape, but maybe just see what happens, how you want to do that. Maybe make some shapes, symbols. You can switch it up and do some fill-in with the dominant hand. Like I said, going to be using the color later because I want to do some watercolor techniques. Doesn't matter which hand you're using. Maybe you want to make some specific symbols like a heart or a diamond, anything that is meaningful to you in this moment. And it doesn't need to mean anything to anybody else. And you can make some patterns and feelings. Like I said, go back and forth. And then maybe you can try writing some words. Try writing your name. I wanted to do some watercolors because that's what I wanted to do today. Okay, remember to go back and see how things are working with your non-dominant hand. Just play around with it. No right or wrong answer. Relax and enjoy what you're working on. And you can just keep going and putting different things. You can go back if you want to add more marks of one color or different patterns. It all depends on the different kind of materials that you're working with. Kind of play with it, different ideas and textures and feelings that you might want to put on there. It all depends on what you're feeling in this moment. I feel done with that activity. And there you have it. So there's that activity. Now, let's see. Yeah, that's that. I hope you enjoyed the work with me today. I hope that you can see some immediate benefits of slowing down and taking this moment for yourself, doing something kind of fun. And thanks for the watch. Please visit my website, teachingithacawellness.com, for details on how you can support my work and or work directly with me. Yes, thanks again. Bye-bye.